Hey, it's Billy J, Story Moto ADV. We're touring full time. One of the bikes that we're on is a Honda CRF 250L Rally, and we just quickly wanted to weigh into our viewers on that bike, how it performs off-road, on-road, touring in general, and also compare it to the Honda CRF 250L non-rally version in the event you are considering buying one or the other. And we hope this information helps. We're also going to share what we did to make our Honda CRF 250L Rally tour ready. Stand by. Oh, God. And we've outfitted our Honda CRF 250L Rally with the Flatland Racing bash plate. At the time of the install, there was no bash plates for the Rally version specifically, so we had to do some pretty excessive mods. Not really. We did have to do some drilling. We had to cut away some plastics, but at the end of the day, it only took a couple hours and it looked wonderful. I'm sure somebody's offering a bash plate specifically for the Honda CRF 250L Rally version, and if you know of one, throw it in the comments, man. People benefit from that. We added the T-Rex Racing tail plate. We're sponsored by T-Rex, so that's our kind of our go-to. But if you look into T-Rex, you'll see why we pursued them and why we use their products. They're just absolutely wonderful. We went with the Tusk hand guards from Rocky Mountain ATV. Always excellent products from Rocky Mountain ATV. Excellent customer service. We did a video on the install, but some of the camera work was messed up, so we ended up trashing it. But if you need any help, if you're trying to put those in, and if you're not very mechanically inclined, just hit us up in the comments and we'll help you out. There is one little kind of sketchy part where you have to cut off the plastic into the throttle body on the throttle side, and we have a few techniques that we could suggest on the best way to do that. So never fret to hit us up for anything like that. We went with the Views soft panniers. We did a video on how to outfit your bike, panniers, tank, tail bag, for under $200, and it wasn't a joke. We meant it and we did it, and that's what my son Zane uses on his Honda CRF 250L Rally. We went with the Views soft panniers. You can find a link to that in the description. And we went with a multi-attachment point river bag for our tail, and then the Dalco FASTRAX tank bag, which is phenomenal. It is a wonderful tank bag. It's $65 and it's on par with tank bags 3 times that cost. And then we also went with the Mitas EO7 rear and the Pirelli M21. We're not 100% sold in the Pirelli M21. I just haven't been able to find anything better, but I don't regard it as a unicorn. However, I do regard the Mitas EO7 as a unicorn. We posted a video about that. You can watch it and hear our argument as to why. If you have any other suggestions for any gear on the Honda CRF 250L Rally, any aftermarket accessories, anything, please put it in the comments. We like the information ourselves, and of course, you know, YouTube is one of these things where people are watching because they're trying to learn stuff pretty much. You know, for entertainment, we go to Netflix. If we're trying to learn how to do something, and entertainment too, but a lot of people are out there really trying to learn how to save money and save time and get out riding. And so anything you do leave in the comments is greatly appreciated by us, of course, and our viewers. So thank you if you do share. Off-road. Here's the thing. The CRF 250L is one of the better Japanese 250s. And that says a lot because Japan has made some phenomenal motorcycles. About that, I'll say this. It's not a WR 250, but at the same time, it's not a carbureted KLX 250 either. I mean, if you work the clutch, I mean, it'll lift its front tire. You know, there's tons of footage of my son riding wheelies. It's a great bike, but it's not a high performance machine. It's not going to skip up the side of a mountain like a high performing 250, but it does get the job done. If you've ridden a mid-range performing Japanese 250, then you know what the CRF 50 is capable of. But there is a noted power lack. I think by the modern definition of what ample power is, I think Japan is going to have to do something about their factory bikes, even of these that aren't intended to be high-performing bikes, but they will be left behind soon, and that is one complaint we have is a lack of power. But we're doing something about that, which I'll share in just a second. On-road, the Honda CRF 250L Rally, it's excellent lighting. It's very safe. You know, the LEDs have really by leaps and bounds increased safety. It has a decent fuel range. It has great wind buffeting for a 250. You know, I don't really think there are any others that compare with it. That Rally windshield and the Rally fairing and everything they did helps. It's a far cry better than the CRF 250L non-Rally version. The biggest complaint is passing power, just the general lack of power. And again, hear me out. I'm not saying that it's a weak bike. It really isn't. If I were to have to compare it between a known low-performing 250 and a known high-performing 250 in terms of just general power delivery, I would have to give it a, if the lowest was 1 and the highest was 10, I would give it a 7. I mean, it's not a weak bike. I don't want to convey that message, but I'm just saying, by modern definition, they're definitely going to have to do something with that to add to the power. Let me say this about on-road and off-road. I want to speak to the act of truly adventure touring, adventure riding on a CRF 250L Rally. But I think this would hold, obviously, again, for the CRF 250L. And I'm going to be comparing the two in just a second. Again, the only complaint we have, it comes back to that power lack. Now, again, I'm a little spoiled. I ride a KTM 690 Enduro R. My son rides that bike as well, so he has something to compare it to that's way more powerful. Now, I've done tens and tens of thousands of miles on a KLR 650, so, you don't just whip out into the passing lane and fly by 5 semis on that bike either. So I do have a less powerful per pound bike to compare it to, but I will say that for our needs, for what we do, I will say that on mountain passes, heavy wind, full luggage, touring on a Honda CRF 250L Rally comes with its sacrifices. We are light people, so we have the advantage that makes touring more feasible on that bike. I mean, my son is he's young. He just turned 18. We're smaller people. He's taller than I am. I think he's about 5'9", but he's still very thin. He hasn't filled out all the way yet, so he's like a $130. I'm a $160. My wife is like 110. So being lighter people, we can get away with more luggage and have more maybe licenses that we can take to tour on less powerful bikes. But I will say that if you're a big guy, if you're 220 pounds and you pack heavy, that's not the bike for you to tour on. It just isn't. We've made it work, I believe, because we pack light and we're light people. But I think all the way around, the problem with the Honda CRF 250L Rally just does really come back to power. And so if we were to do it again, it's kind of hard to say. I mean, let's look at the two side by side, the Honda CRF 250L Rally and the non-Rally. I mean, they're basically the same bike, Slightly longer wheelbase on the Rally, slightly higher ground clearance, but it's 30 pounds heavier. It's got about a half gallon more gas, a little bit taller seat, obviously a better light, better wind buffeting. I think the glaring differences would be that the Rally looks super cool. And, that's not really that important, but if it is important to you, then, I totally get it. For us, it's not important, but obviously, it's fun to ride a cool looking bike. It has a better headlight, better windshield, better wind buffeting, as I talked about earlier. But is it $1,000 better? I don't know. And there's not only that, the other factor we're up against, and which kind of led us to the conclusion that, hey, if we were going to do this again, we would probably go and just get the CRF 250L and then spend that $800 to $1,000, whatever it is, take better advantage of aftermarket accessories, because the Rally, while a very similar bike, a lot of the CRF 250L non-Rally version aftermarket accessories don't work on the Rally version, so you definitely have some limitations there. We would probably go back and get the CRF 250L, ditch the Rally version, and then spend the $800 to $1,000, whatever the price difference is for where you're at, on a windshield, LED, a Cyclops bulb, and some roto packs or similar systems for added fuel, and still have $500 to spend and relish in that. But the other factor is the Honda CRF 250L Rally plastics. There's a lot of them. It's about $1,000 more in plastics, basically. Plus the fact that it looks cool and all that, bigger tank and all that. I'm just saying those plastics are more expensive, so you need to buy crash guards, which we didn't do. We feel kind of foolish now because, the joke for us is, we have a Honda CRF 250L Rally, but one bite at a time, we're turning it into a CRF 250L non-Rally, because those plastics are just being chewed and chomped away. I'll try to put a couple pictures up and so you can see what I'm talking about. And they're not cheap, they're not cheap relative to standard Moto Cross-esque type plastics as you would find on the KTM 690 or the other bikes like that, the Honda CRF 250L. My good friend 690 ADV Joe, he has the CRF 250L non-Rally. His bike is notedly more powerful. He did that by adding the EJK and an FMF muffler. FMF muffler, not just the slip-on, but the all the way back to the head. It definitely has 15-20% more power, And we just purchased the EJK that we're going to install on the Rally, and we're going to see what difference that makes. And then depending upon the result of the EJK performance differences, we're going to do an aftermarket muffler. Not necessarily sure if it's going to be an FMF. If you have any suggestions on that, throw them in the comments. If you've done a muffler swap on the Rally or just even the CRF 250L, let us know what that is, because we are most likely going to make the purchase. We did note that riding Joe's CRF 250L definitely had more power that would come in handy, as that's really our only chief complaint with the Honda CRF 250L Rally. And I think at the end of the day, Honda nailed it with the Rally. I do wish they had innovated a little deeper and given it a little more power. It looks like it's 450 counterpart or Big Brother, or however you'd say that, but they really failed in the power department. There are things that can be done. That is not a diss on the bike itself. We love it. We're continuing to tour on it. In fact, we're about to head out towards, we're going to Dirt Circus up in Utah, and then we're headed down to southern Arizona to soak up a little sun. We're looking at Bonneville for this year's events, and it's all going to be done on that Honda CRF 250L. So we're not dogging it. We love it, and we just want to share as much as we can honestly about it, because we understand that we don't all have $5,000 bills laying around to just go buy any bike anytime we want. So we want to make sure that we give as much information as we can, and that's why we ask people to put stuff in the comments. Let us know what you use, what you don't use, what you agree with, what you don't agree with. We know a ton about this crap, guys, but we have a crap ton to learn too, and we're aware of that. So fresh dialogue, sharing of information, it's how we all save money. It's how we all get out to the road, get out to the dirt, get out to wherever it is. That's how a community is formed. That's how a community is shaped and maintained. So never fret to put in your 2 cents, and just do it nicely. Do it nicely. There's no sense in bagging on people and squidding out. Story Moto out.